Hey everyone, it's Craig coming at you with my regular weekly update. For this week's update. So if we step back to last week on Tuesday, we had an injection called an end plate injection. It's an injection that is intended to help us increase the number of platelets in my bloodstream so that hopefully we can get those platelet counts up above 100 so that I could qualify for the clinical study with Dr. Tajani. That's also a requirement for the clinical study of the Dr. Perez that I met with today for the clinical study that he's working on as well. So I had that injection on Tuesday. Now we need to kind of wait 3 weeks for it to go into effect and be able to test it before I would be eligible to enter into the clinical study. I did go ahead on Thursday and sign the paperwork just so that we have things in place. If I decide to go with the second clinical study, then we would put a pause or cancel the first one and then move forward with the second one. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get into it. Originally, my second consultation was supposed to be on Wednesday. We drove down to what they call Medical City here in Lake Nona, Florida. And unfortunately, things weren't ready for us and the doctor got called into a meeting. So we were unable to meet with him on Wednesday and it got rescheduled to today. And so that's when we had our consultation with him. The consultation today, we learned more about the study. It's not with Merck, but it's with a similar drug company. And it's called an antibody drug conjugate study. And what it is it binds to the cancer cell and then is absorbed into the cell where it destroys the key cell processes that lead to its death. And it can also cross across barriers and destroy neighboring cells as well. So rather than a regular chemotherapy where it just basically treats everything, he described this as the conjugate has a bomb attached to it. It goes and targets the specific tumor. And when it attaches to the tumor, it sets the bomb off, killing the cell. So very targeted, and it could be very good. In the study we learned about today, it's in phase 1, and everybody gets the drug. Whereas if you remember when I talked about the Merck clinical study, I would either get the drug, the conjugate drug, or I would get chemotherapy. I would not get both. And it's 50-50 chance, but I would know if I'm getting it or not. And so we meet on Thursday of this week with Dr. Tajani, and obviously we want to talk about what our options are, and particularly talk about kind of maybe the order in which we do things. Megan and I are feeling some pressure now to get started with the next stage of treatment because we've gone several weeks now, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks without chemotherapy. And obviously the longer we go with no treatment at all, the greater the risk of the spread of the disease. And we want to make sure that it does not spread any further, and particularly that it doesn't spread outside of the liver. As we're wrapping up our consultation with Dr. Perez today, he did say, hey, do you want to go ahead and do some blood work? So we went ahead and did some blood work. And so tomorrow, hopefully, I'll get some results about what my platelet counts are at to see now that I've been off chemo, if we're seeing some improvement. And now that I had the end plate shot from last week, if that also helps to drive some improvement in my platelet blood counts. From an overall health perspective, I'm certainly doing better from an appetite perspective. I still get bloated from time to time, but I'm still able to eat. Try to maybe do some smaller meals throughout the day. But I do get the nutrients that I'm needing to get, which is helpful in recovery for my body, particularly now with no chemo going in. And overall, I'm starting to get some energy back. I'm still having some trouble sleeping. I tend to wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. And so I've kind of learned to adapt that on Saturdays and Sundays, if I wake up at 2 or 3 and I have some work to do, I just get up and do the work. And then I go back and try to take a nap or come back and lay down and maybe get a little bit more sleep rather than just lying in bed, tossing and turning, or sitting in front of the TV watching it until I fall back asleep. So I just get up, I get some stuff done, and I do some reading sometimes, and that's helped. I've also, I had strayed away from my meditation, so I added that back in, a daily meditation, about a 10-minute meditation each morning, just to calm and relax myself and to center my breathing. And so that's been helpful to start the day with that. And I have been continuing to walk. So I've been walking each day. Yesterday, I actually walked around the big block, not just the cul-de-sac. So a little bit more winded, but was able to make it around. And yesterday, I had enough energy to actually make some dinner, which is something that I really enjoy doing, is cooking. And so I made some vegan lobster rolls with heart of palms. I made some homemade coleslaw and some crispy potatoes. And everyone seemed to really enjoy it. And it was just good to be able to get back in the kitchen and do some things that really bring me joy. For my gratitude moment this week, I am grateful for options. So it was just a few weeks ago when we were unsure what was next. What doors would open, what doors would close? Were we running out of options? And so I'm grateful that the Merck study has come along to the point where if I can get my platelets up, I could be a potential candidate for that. I'm grateful for Dr. Tajani having us do another opinion, a third consultation, this time with a gentleman at the Sarah Cannon Research Institute, and the options that's there for me to be able to join in a study where I would definitely get the studied or clinical drug. And I'm grateful for the options here in Central Florida. If one was going to get stuck with cancer, I could be in the middle of nowhere, but I'm not. I'm in a place that has a lot of options. And what I mean by that is the Advent Health Cancer Institute has been fabulous. I love the care that they have given to me and the care that I continue to receive with Dr. Tajani and my care team. But in addition to that, we have Orlando Health, which has a great cancer institute. We've got this Susan Cannon Research Institute. We've got the Mayo Clinic up in Jacksonville, which is just 2 hours away. And I've got Moffitt Cancer Institute down in Tampa, which is, again, about 2.5 hours away. So for me to get cancer and to get it in a place like Central Florida, where I have so many options available to me within 2 hours, I know how fortunate I am to be able to take advantage of second and third consultations and exploring options at all of these locations that might continue to help me fight this cancer so that I can get to a point of what they call NED, no evidence of disease. And so while we were down just a couple of weeks ago, we're feeling a little bit more optimistic. Definitely want to get started with the next treatment so that we don't sit too long with nothing. But grateful for the options that we have and that are presented to us in this area. My name's Craig with One Man's Cancer Journey, and I wish for you a blessed week.